Welcome to today's not really a conversation, but I'm just going to share with you today on the topic of unidentified geniuses. There are geniuses amongst us, and there are people who don't even know that they're geniuses. So, before we get into what I'm about to share with you today, I want you to please share this with your connections because I know there will be things that I share today that can benefit not only you, but those who are closest to you. Because sometimes what needs to happen is that we need to be reminded of how great we are, of what we're capable of doing. And for some of us, we grew up in an environment where we were told what we are not good at. And we're going to cover that today. So if you're here today for this presentation, please share with your connection. But before I get any further, my name is Richard A. Cross, Dr. Richard A. Cross, and today's topic is unidentified geniuses. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you are here because today is the last day you'll think you're limited. So many times we think we are not capable, and it's because we have been conditioned to think we are not capable. But as I said earlier, today is the last day you will think you are limited. We are diving into a conversation, a dialogue that might shift the way you see yourself forever. This is an identified genius. You're a genius and didn't even know it. Whether whether you have ever felt overlooked, because a lot of times what happens, we are overlooked by others, and because we're overlooked, we take it as that we are not good enough. You may be underestimated or unsure of your purpose. Tonight is about discovering the power that already inside of you. We all have greatness within us. We all have potential that we haven't yet tapped into. And that's what we will talk about tonight. So there will be several different things that I'll be talking about and sharing with you. But I will cover why it's important to recognize the genius within and some of the reason why some of us don't tap into our greatness. So, again, if you're here, please go ahead and share this with your connection. I know there will be something that will be shared tonight, this evening, that they all can benefit from. We all have something within us that we haven't yet tapped into. And for some of us, it's because we have been in environments or around people who only talk about what we are not good at. And some of us take on that belief. So we are walking around with the belief of others as our own. We believe we're not good enough. We believe we are not enough because there are people who have told us that we are not good enough. And for some of us, we believe. But I can tell you, you are a genius. You just don't know it yet. So you were born with greatness. I just want you all to know that regardless of your environment, regardless of what you start with in life, you were born with greatness. As you may have seen individuals who realize their ability late in life. And for some of us today, or for some of you, you don't know what you're good at. You don't know that you are capable of more. And that's what this will be about. So let me share this real quick with you. From the moment you entered this world, you carried something unique and untapped potential that, if recognized and nurtured, could have transformed your life and generations that followed. But like many, you may have overlooked this genius within you, conditioned by circumstances, self doubt, and societal expectations. So, depending on the environment you were born into, are the people that you are around most of your time. And for some of us, it's because of societal expectations. We sometimes are told consistently what we are not capable of doing. But I want to just share with you briefly the myth of geniuses, or myth of genius. When most people hear the word genius, they think of Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and some kid prodigy who could solve complex equation before they could ride a bike. But genius isn't just about high IQ or extraordinary academic achievement. Genius is about seeing what others don't, thinking beyond the limits set by the world, and tapping into creative force that makes each of us unique. You don't need a prestigious degree or global recognition to be a genius. You simply need to that the ability, recognize that the ability to innovate, create, and influence has always been within you. And that's where it starts. We think that we have to be considered certain thing or be like some other individuals to be considered being a genius, but that's not the case. But why you overlooked your geniuses, or why you overlook your genius? Many people never realize their exceptional abilities because they have been conditioned to believe that success only comes in specific forms. Getting good grades, landing prestigious jobs, or following a conventional path. But just like me, you may have seen individuals who are now considered exceptional, but they haven't walked the conventional path. They may have developed or realized their potential late on the journey. And if you haven't realized your ability or what you are great at, it doesn't mean you will not or cannot realize your genius. We all have something within us that we are good at. But again, for some of us, because of the environment we grew up in, and because of the people we are around, we don't feel as if we are good enough. We may have great ideas that we can act on, but sometimes we refuse to act on the things that we feel compelled to do because we are thinking about what other people will say about us. And for some of us, we fear failing, so we don't try. And that fear may stem from what we have heard, maybe as a child, because we are thinking that we are not good enough. So there's no reason for me to try the thing that I feel compelled to do. I know individuals here may have been great artists at a young age, but didn't nurture that ability. And if you don't nurture the ability that you have, you're not going to excel at it. And there are people today that we see that are considered genius or prodigies or individuals who are excelling in certain areas or certain field. And those individuals are there, are being recognized because they nurtured the ability or the potential they have. And for some of them, it's not because they themselves decided to nurture it, maybe because of their parents, because of a part of a organization that they are a part of. They saw what these kids, these young people are good at and decided to nurture it. But not every one of us were given that same ability to be in environments where our abilities and potential were nurtured or encouraged. Because if you are good at something and no one is there to tell you that, oh, yes, you're good at that, you should spend time doing more of that, you may not follow through on what you are naturally good at. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, to encourage those of you here that may be sitting on great potential but have never tapped into it. And hopefully, before the conversation ends today, I will share things that will help you to tap into your genius. And I can tell you, what you start off with, is especially if you're young, what you start off with may not be what you do forever. But we all have abilities that we can nurture that can take us to where we want to be in life. And for some of us, we have more than one potential, more than one gifts, and more than one talent. But whatever the talent is, you have to nurture it for it to benefit you. But again, to go back to why overlooked your genius, as I said, because of different reasons, but history is filled with individuals who were dismissed, doubted, or misunderstood, only to later change the world. And I know you know of many individuals out there, and one of the ones that we can really, um, most people may know about, and that is Steve Jobs. We know that he started Apple, got fired, but they realized his capability of changing how we use technology. But there are many other individuals out there who you may know who have really demonstrated later on their journey, their capability. So what if you have spent years believing you are average when in reality you possess extraordinary gifts waiting to be unleashed? And as I said earlier, a lot of times why we don't make that step forward or we don't go after what we feel compelled to do. Some of us fear failure, and some of us, it's because of self doubt or even lack exposure. Because depending on your environment, you may not get to be in spaces where you can see others who are doing what you feel or have a passion for. So, not being exposed can also make you feel as if you don't belong in a certain area, even though it may come natural to you. But one of the big thing for most people is that they fear failure. But if you're going to become who you're capable of, if you're going to achieve extraordinary things in life, you cannot fear failure. And you certainly don't want to be talking yourself out of doing what you want to do. And that's what happened for most people. They fear they're going to fail. And because of that fear, they don't start the journey. If you feel compelled to do something, you need to start because your genius is in that thing you feel compelled to do. And you're not going to start out being the best at what you feel compelled to do. If it comes natural to you, yes, you may do what you're doing above average, but to become excellent at it, you have to do it and do it over and over and over. And in the process of doing what you feel compelled to do, there may be people who are looking from the sideline and thinking that you're crazy. Why are you doing what you're doing? But those same individuals who may be looking at you from the side, who are not doing what you're doing, will later, after you achieve your goal, I may want to ask you how you get to achieve what you have achieved. So if you have something that you want to do, if you feel compelled to do something, do it. Don't worry about failure. Many of the people you admire today, many of the people who live even after they pass, their names are still called, have failed many times before they accomplish what they end up achieving. And the same thing can happen for you. You sometimes have to fail before you achieve the goal you are pursuing. But don't let trying and failing make you stop pursuing what you want to achieve out of life. Fear of failure have caused a lot of people not to realize their geniuses, and also lack of exposure. For some people, they may not have the resources or the people to help them to be exposed to what will help them realize or develop the confidence within themselves to go after what they want to achieve. But if at this point, if you're here and you want to do something that you always want to do, something that comes easy to you, but you're still not doing it, to realize that thing or to make the world experience it, you have to start doing it. You may fail, you may look bad doing it, but if you continue to do it, you will get good at it. And it's the same thing with the people you admire today. They become great at what they're doing, not because they are more than you, but because they decided that they're going to do it, and they may fail at it, but that didn't stop them or even the opinions of others. Because a lot of times, what we sometimes do while we don't identify our geniuses or what we are capable of doing is because we are worried about the opinions of others. And why you also sometimes overlook your genius is because of societal conditioning. I know for us sometimes, especially as black males, we have been told what we cannot do. And for some of us, we believe it. And even if we are capable, we just don't do it because that's not who society says we are. And because society says we are not great, we don't believe we are great. But just to break free from owning your power, there are a few things that we have to realize or become aware of throughout this conversation. And this will not be the only time we talk about unidentified genius. It's going to be more than one session on this topic, and because there are a lot of things that we can cover. But identifying identify the unique strengths that make you um, a genius. You have to shift your mindset from doubt to confidence. But talk about identifying your strengths. Your strengths can be different from those around you, and you have to be okay doing what you feel good or passionate about doing, even if you're the only person doing it. And that's what caused some of us at times not to really tap into our greatness because we refuse to do the things that we feel strongly about, where our passion lies, because we want to do what we see other people are doing. And then we left our potential dormant because we're not doing it because it's different. But it's your difference that's going to make you or make you even feel fulfilled because you want to be doing what makes you feel fulfilled, not trying to do what others are doing. And you may not enjoy doing it while your genius is being suppressed. You have to feel comfortable doing what you feel compelled to do, what your strengths are. You have to do the things that align with your strength and feel okay doing it, even if you're the only one um, doing it. So I share some of the myth, but you have to understand you don't need to be famous to be phenomenal. You can be phenomenal where you are. You have greatness in you, and you have to be willing to do that which you feel compelled to do. And the individuals that I may list as known examples of unidentified geniuses, they may not be the person you think are geniuses. You may have a different definition or people who you think are geniuses. I think Tyler Perry is a genius, vision and persistence. And remember, I said in the beginning, we used to identify what is common to most of us is IQ and academic performance. You have Katrin Johnson, mathematical brilliance, and you have other individuals who have moved from being homeless to household names. Those people are geniuses. They may not come off as the academically sound individual in sense of they didn't excel academically in school, but yet they become people who we look up to today because of their perseverance, because of their dedication, because of their commitment to something that they find that they can do. And you have to do the thing that you can do. And what you can do and have a passion for can be different from what other people are doing. What is important, especially when it comes to individuals who we sometimes see today as geniuses who didn't start out looking because of their background, because of what they had to overcome to be where they are. Innately, they had the ability to become great, but sometimes their start in life prevents them early on in their journey to realize that they could. But because of perseverance, or maybe because of an opportunity, we today get to experience their brilliance. So, people who start out unnoticed but never unworthy, they can. And that's what you have to understand. There are people who will start out who are unnoticed, but not because they were or you are unworthy. You have to understand innately you have the ability to become who you want to be. What is it that you can do? You have to ask yourself because it's not what others are doing, and it could be what others are doing, but what is it that you can do? And that's what you need to do. Because to tap into or to unleash your potential, your greatness, you will have to be doing something that you're passionate about. Because to become great, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, it takes persistency for you to be exceptional. So even though innately you have the ability, if you don't work on it, if you don't persevere, you may not realize your capability. But as I shared earlier, for some of us, it's because we fear failure or self doubt. And for others, it's because they haven't been exposed to environments to help them to see themselves in spaces or realize that they can. Because if you're not confident within yourself, you may not go after what you have a passion for. Because there are people out there with passions, but they're not confident enough to go after what they are passionate about. And again, some is because their fear of failure, self doubt, or what they think people are going to say. People will talk regardless of what you do. You could be great at what you have a passion for, but there will still be individuals out there who will talk, maybe negatively, or try to discourage you from doing what you have a passion for. You have to learn to block out people if you're going to realize your greatness. It is in you. You have that thing in you. But if you are worried about failure or the opinions of others, you may not move towards what you want to do. So there are a lot of people who are sitting on their greatness, sitting on their geniuses. And what you have within you, the world needs it. The reason you have the ability or you feel compelled to do what you feel compelled to do is because it is needed in the world. So, not doing a thing that you're good at doing doesn't mean you're not a genius. You're just not discovered, or you haven't discovered your greatness because it is not something that you're going to find out there. It is something that you need to recognize, identify within yourself. And for some of us as adults, there were things that we were doing at a young age. And because it wasn't supported, it wasn't encouraged, we stopped doing it, even though it comes natural to us. And to awaken your genius, you may have to go back to those things that comes natural to you. So you may have to do some reflection. You may have to look back on your life to see the things that you have a passion for, that you have moved away from, that you're not doing today, but you wanted to. And today can be that day where you start to realize your genius. And you have to understand identifying your potential doesn't make you great in the moment. You will still have to dedicate yourself. You will still have to commit yourself to doing what you feel compelled to do or have a passion for without worrying about the opinions of others or failing once you start. Again, many individuals have failed many times before they become the household name we know today. And if you want to become one of the individuals who people talk about, you don't have to be someone who is on the global stage. Because sometimes our greatness, our genius is not for the entire world, but maybe for our community, maybe for the people who are close to us. And because of us, they realize they have something of value to contribute to the world. You may be that individual who is supposed to help those who are closest to you realize they have more than the norm to offer to the world. But maybe you are scared of moving towards that thing you feel compelled to do. Let today be the last day you feel scared to do what you want to do. All you have to do is start. Everyone start starts where they are. And the same thing with you. You have to start where you are so you can become who you want to be and who you're capable of becoming. So the mindset you have to have is from limited to limitless. You have to stop doubting yourself. Whenever a doubt comes to your mind, do it regardless. Because to overcome doubt is to take action. And again, when you take action, it doesn't mean you're going to achieve the goal in that moment. You may have to take action over and over and over before you achieve what you want. But if you allow doubt to take over your mind, you may not move from where you are to where you want to be, or even awaken the greatness that is in you. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in yourself. There are geniuses amongst us, but not everyone believe in who they are. And for you to become who you're capable of becoming, you have to believe in yourself. And you may have heard that you can use affirmations. Yes, you can. Sometimes you, the individual, have to tell yourself what you want to believe over and over so you can believe it. Use affirmation to affirm who you want to be. Tell yourself over and over that you can be great, that you can achieve extraordinary goals, that you can impact the lives of others, that you can move from where you are to where you want to be. And what is certain, you are already talking to yourself. So might as well you use affirmations to remind yourself of who you want to be and what you want to achieve. And that means daily exposure to growth. And affirmations can help you, but it's up to you to make sure what you're exposing yourself to, especially as an adult. And the things that we do, those around us are watching. And if we practice good, healthy habits, those around us will see what we're doing and they may start doing the same things that we are doing. You have so much in you that you just don't realize. And it doesn't matter where you start or start with. Because even if you think you start with nothing, you didn't really start with nothing. You start with ability. You start with talent. You start with your gifts. But it's to realize those gifts, realize those talents, and work on it. Nurture it. Spend time doing the thing that comes natural to you. It's not what others are doing, it's what you want to do. It's what you have a passion for. Because you don't want to start and stop. You want to start and keep going. And that's where you find passion. Because passion gives you that extra to keep going when it gets challenging. And it doesn't matter what you want to do, anything worthwhile will take time, will take commitment, will take discipline, even when you have the natural ability for it. Because natural ability alone will not make you great. It's what you do with a natural ability that makes you great. But you have the potential to be great, to achieve something extraordinary. But what will you do with what you're capable of doing? That's important because if you're going to activate the genius within, it is going to be what you do. And one thing that is important when it comes to activating the genius within is your willingness to take small steps. And not only taking small steps, you have to be at the same time celebrate small wins because the wins makes you feel good about yourself. So celebrate the small wins. And the more you celebrate the small wins, once you start taking the steps, the more confident you become. And with confidence, you become unstoppable. Because when you develop confidence, challenges will not stop you easily. But some people start and stop before they develop the confidence. And some people want to get from where they are to the mountaintop overnight. But to get to the mountaintop, to get to where you want to be, you have to be willing to take those small steps. And each step you take, celebrate the wins. Because when you celebrate the wins, you become confident. And with confidence, you become unstoppable. So don't worry about getting to where you want to be overnight. Focus on taking the small steps. It's important that you know what you want are who you want to become, where you want to be, and what you want to achieve. So once you know those things, start taking the steps towards it. Remember, the steps help you to awake or awaken the genius within. And for some of us, when it comes to our greatness and our geniuses, is about breaking cycle. Because some of us have been in environments where we have been told what we cannot do. And because of that, we believe the limitations society, our environments have placed on us. So, to break the cycle, all the things that I've said earlier about taking small steps and celebrate the wins is important. But you have to understand that your genius affects the generations. What you do today are the cycles you break today from identifying your genius will put the next generation one step ahead, especially those who are connected directly to you. Because if you break the cycle, say for some people today who have gone to college, they're the first in their family, those who are coming behind them are more likely to realize that path to their greatness or that path to what they want to achieve. And if you identify what you are good at and what you want to excel at and willing to give yourself to it, those who are coming behind you will say, you know what? I want to achieve this. And I know someone directly who have achieved what I want. And it may not be the same thing, but you have to understand your genius affects generations. You becoming the best version of yourself will help those who are coming behind you to have more confidence within themselves because of you. So don't take lightly realizing or activating your greatness. And as I said earlier, some of us grew up in environments where we were told what we cannot do. So it's on us today, especially when we're talking about breaking cycle and build legacy, is to teach children to recognize their gifts early. And when these kids recognize, or when we help them to recognize their gifts, we have to help them nurture it. If they don't nurture the gifts, their talents, it's not going to help them. Because the truth is, there are many of us today who had natural ability or abilities to do some things that we could be great today, but we didn't get the nurturing or the support to tap into. But again, it doesn't mean you cannot tap into your greatness right now. It doesn't mean you don't have the talent. You have to know what you got and spend time nurturing it. The more you do what you're passionate about, the better you get at it. And remember, you're not going to get to the mountaintop in one day. You have to spend time doing what you're good at to become great. And that's just how it is. It is not something that's going to happen just like that. You have to do it and be willing to do it over and over to become great. But you have the ability within you. But ability and talent need needs nurturing. And once you do what you're capable of doing and you achieve your goal, it becomes the blueprint for the next generation. Remember, legacy is not what you leave, it's what you live. So living your life in a certain way becomes your greatest legacy. So it's not just what you leave. So you becoming the best you possible, you demonstrating what you stand for, your excellence, that is power. That is powerful. Because again, there are people watching, and more people than you sometimes think. You can be the example for others to realize that they too can tap into their greatness. But if you don't, they may never. But understand, your genius may be overlooked by others, but it can't be hidden forever. Some of you, or some of us as adults today, have realized what we're capable of doing late in life. And when it goes to go back to what I've shared earlier about teaching the kids, what we learned late, it's our responsibility to make sure the next generation learn early. But remember, your genius might be overlooked by others, but it can't be hidden forever. But again, it's our responsibility to make sure it is not. And that means we have to work on what we find within ourselves that we can do. And sometimes we think rejection is because we're not capable, but you may have heard it several times. Rejection is redirection, but it's a matter of perspective when we're in situations, dealing with situations that we may not like or didn't go as planned. It may to put us on a path so we can activate what is within. Because sometimes what we do, we limit ourselves. So when we don't get that thing that we want, we think we're not good enough, but we have more in us. So that rejection for most people, and you can ask individuals, for most people, that rejection helps them to realize something greater within themselves. And it's also important that you realize that validation isn't required to be valuable. No one needs to validate you for you to be valuable. You are valuable without the validation of others. So, what you may need to do as we come to a close today, and this is just a synopsis, just talking over some talking points on unidentified genius, is to start with journaling your strength. To realize what you're good at, you need to become aware of what you're good at, what your strengths are. So start journaling your strengths and affirm your power. Affirm what you're good at. Affirm yourself. Take action even in fear. Because if you don't take action, you are not going to become who you are capable of becoming. And the world needs what only you can offer. You have something of value to give to the world. You have something that you can give that I can't give, that no one else will be able to give to the world. Even if what you're doing is same as what I'm doing or the same as what someone else is doing. How you present it and even your experience will make how you share it with the world different. Because we may not have the same experience, even though we want to do the same thing. So your experience makes you unique, and your uniqueness is needed in the world. And sometimes that's the reason for the experiences that we have, because our impact is supposed to be different. And the people that we are supposed to reach are different. But the world needs what you have to offer. I want to say thanks for those who are here, and there will be a continuation on this topic as we go forward. And although this session is about building, or this series this month is about building legacy, you cannot build the legacy you want without knowing who you are. You need to know who you are. You need to activate your genius. You need to become the best you possible. And don't think you are not a genius. You have the ability, the potential, the innate ability in you to do something extraordinary. But it's important that you believe in you even before the world believe in you. And sometimes the only way the world is going to believe in you is because you believe in you. But don't wait for anyone to validate you, to give you permission to pursue what you feel compelled to do. Keep in mind, you are always a genius. You just need to see it. I want to say thank you for being here um, for today's session. And I'm looking forward to sharing with you, not just on topics that you may sometimes are not aware of, but topics that you are aware of. But going forward, I will still be bringing guests to share their insights and their passion and the impact that they want to make. Thanks. My name is Dr. Richard A. Cross, and continue to support us here at the Black Male Impact, where positive changes are inspired.